Welcome top news today.
Leaving the House floor after the budget votes, House Majority Whip Steve Scalise RLA speaks to journalists around 5:30 a.m. after the House narrowly passed a spending bill to reopen the government. Melina Marath, Washington Post. As the clock ticked past 2:30 a.m. Friday, Senator Richard C. Shelby Rala walked off the Senate floor and cracked a joke about the strange dysfunction that gripped the Capitol. "Hey, Doug," said Shelby, 83, a four-decade veteran of Congress. "Welcome to the Senate, Sen." Doug Jones Darla, in during his second shutdown and the latest of several late-night sessions just 5 weeks into office, couldn't believe how late things got resolved to end a brief government shutdown that no one seemed to want. "I was just saying I haven't been up this late since college," Jones, 63, told Shelby. It would take another 3 hours for the House to pass the Senate's massive fiscal compromise, and, finally, until just past 8:30 a.m. Friday for President Trump to announce that he had signed the legislation reopening the government after a brief overnight shutdown. As Shelby let his junior colleague know, these overnight sessions are starting to become semi-regular around here, with each side viewing the countdown clock to some shutdown or expiration of existing law as a potential leverage point. It's becoming such old hat that, this time around, there was not much in terms of actual drama, other than the sheer ire directed at Sen. Rand Paul RKY, whose grandstanding delay tactics pushed the votes well past the midnight deadline and started what was really only a technical shutdown. "It's a colossal waste of everybody's time," said Senator John Thune SD, a member of the Republican leadership. Paul relented. The Senate could have voted earlier Friday and given the House enough time to approve the sweeping legislation. But the Kentucky senator, once a darling of the conservative Tea Party movement, lashed out at his fellow Republicans for reneging on their old deficit-conscious ways and instead embracing legislation that boosted federal agency spending by more than $300 billion this year alone. Paul wanted a vote on an amendment that would have embarrassed his fellow Republicans, calling for fiscal restraint, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell RKY refused to give in. So, Paul held the floor until after midnight, as the rules allowed, briefly shutting down the government. He got nothing in return for his delay tactics, something that has come to grate on his colleagues. "He never gets a result," Thune said. However, Paul said he drove home a point and did so at minimum distraction to the average American. "Last night, for a few hours, your government shut down. Most likely, you slept soundly while this happened. The sun rose, and the world went on," Paul wrote Friday in an opt for Time. Indeed, the world went on, practically ignoring the melodrama. The last time Congress stumbled into a government shutdown, all of 3 weeks ago, the Capitol was abuzz. Liberal groups staged a rally in Upper Senate Park, cheering on Senate Democrats as they demanded a DREAM Act as part of any spending bill. The party's leaders sniped back and forth on the Senate floor, trying to frame the debate by blaming one another for disaster.